What's up, everybody? It's Jordan, and welcome to the Sports Dude Hine Show. Today is April 27th, 2021. In today's video, I'm live on YouTube like every single video I do, and I'm continuing my series of doing a post-free agency 7-round mock draft for each NFL team. I finished doing some yesterday and continuing it today. Today is the Baltimore Ravens. They picked 27th overall. They actually have two first-round picks now with the Orlando Brown trade. I'm getting a first-round pick from the Kansas City Chiefs. Let's go ahead and get started with this Baltimore Ravens post-free agency 7-round mock draft. In the first round, I have them selecting LSU wide receiver Terrace Marshall Jr. I think them getting two first-round picks kind of proves that they're going to get a wide receiver, one of those two picks, and the other one they may take a offense tackle or best player available. But I think getting Terrace Marshall Jr. here from LSU is a fantastic pick. He had an absolutely phenomenal pro day, and I think there's a major difference between getting a wide receiver at 27 opposed to one getting at the 31st pick overall. Because in between the 27th pick and the 31st pick, the Green Bay Packers select and the New Orleans Saints pick. Those are two teams who are can maybe take a wide receiver in round one. So I think it's much better off for Baltimore to take a wide receiver with their first round pick, and maybe with their second first round pick they can take a offensive tackle. With their second first round pick, they select offensive tackle Tevin Jenkins. I think this is a fantastic pick here. It's going to be a replacement for Orlando Brown. Like I said, they lost him in the trade with the Kansas City Chiefs. Overall, I really don't know who won that trade. I think both teams got some help there, but they got their future receiver to help Lamar Jackson. They also got a offense tackle who could potentially have 5 years in his contract. Orlando Brown went out of Baltimore, so they get his replacement, and they also get their star receiver in the meantime. I think that kind of works out pretty well for the Baltimore Ravens. They do not have a second-round pick, though. But as we continue here in round 3, they have two third-round picks. With their first third-round pick, they select Oregon safety Javon Holland. The Ravens could really use a safety. I kind of went back and forth, maybe going between an offense tackle in round 1 and Trevon Moehrig, the safety from TCU. I'm a big fan of him. I think he's the best safety in the draft, but Javon Holland's not far behind him. Javon Holland's arguably a top 3 safety in the draft. Getting him here with the 94th pick is an absolute steal for the Baltimore Ravens. It's a team need, and he's definitely the best player available here. It's a really, really good pickup here by the Baltimore Ravens. Like I said, they have two third-round picks, and with their second third-round pick, they select Miami, Florida edge rusher Quincy Roche. They lost Matthew Judon in free agency, so they could really use a edge rusher. I think getting Quincy Roche here is a fantastic pick. The Baltimore Ravens, you look at their team, they're kind of known for getting some guys, who played at Miami, Florida, Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, and many others. I think Quincy Roche would fit very, very well into this Baltimore Ravens defense. This pick is really, really nice. As we continue here in round 4, if you've seen some of my mock draft videos before, I've had Kadarius Toney going to 27 to the Baltimore Ravens quite a bit. But recently, I've not had that happen at all. But part of that reason is because I think they can maybe take a wide receiver in the mid-rounds. I know I already had them taking Terrace Marshall Jr. from LSU, but I actually have them taking another wide receiver here in the 4th round, and Jalen Darden, the wide receiver from North Texas. This pick is absolutely phenomenal. 131st pick overall. This is a fantastic pick here for the Baltimore Ravens. Some people may say it's a reach. I don't think so at all. I think Jalen Darden would be absolutely perfect in the Baltimore Ravens offense. Do tons of end arounds with him and screens and everything. He reminds me so much of Tyreek Hill. They have a very similar style of play. They're very similar in their size and everything. Jalen Darden's definitely one of my favorite prospects in the draft. Being a Bengal fan, I would hate it for have to play him twice a year in Baltimore's offense, but this is a fantastic fit here for the Baltimore Ravens. They actually have two 4th-round picks, and with their second 4th-round pick, they select Florida State defensive tackle Marvin Wilson. I think they could use a little bit more help on the defensive line. Their defense was pretty decent last season, but they need some help. There were some games, the only reason they won was because of their defense. But I still think they could use some help. I think getting Marvin Wilson here in round 4 is a really, really nice pickup. They could use some corner help. So in round 5, I actually had them taking a corner and Minnesota cornerback Benjamin St. Justy. I think getting him here with the 171st pick overall is the absolute steal. He's going to be probably the best corner here in round 5 or, around this pick. And, you need corners, and he's also probably the best player available. And, in the later rounds here, it's always better to take best player available opposed to, a team need, because if you're taking best player available, they're much more likely to make the team rather than getting a team need here. And like in the late stage 3 picks, really like that pick. This next pick I also like quite a bit in round 5. I had them taking LSU safety Jacoby Stevens. Jacoby Stevens is one of my favorite late round prospects. Definitely my favorite late round safety. I know I had him taking Javon Holland here, but he's way too good of a player to pass up here with the 184th pick overall. I think that's a steal for the Ravens. You have him and Javon Holland. All of a sudden, you have a very nice young safety duo who could, force havoc in the AFC North in years to come. I think this is a fantastic pick here. Like I said, in the later rounds, you do not take. You need to always try to take best player available. And despite taking Javon Holland, you take Jacoby Stevens. And I really think that's a phenomenal pick here by the Baltimore Ravens. Do not have a 7th round pick, but have 1 6th round pick. This is actually their last pick in this draft, and they select Buffalo edge rusher Malcolm Kuntz. I think this is a pretty nice pick here. I think they could still use some help on edge rusher. If you've seen some of my draft videos, you realize how high I am on some of these edge rushers. And I would not be shocked if pretty much just about every single team selects the edge rusher. This edge rushing class is very comparable to last year's wide receiver class, and the fact there's so much depth and there are so many good players. But I like getting Malcolm Kuntz here from Buffalo in round 6. I also like Chris Rumph from Duke around here as well. Javon Jackson from Coastal Carolina as well. If you've seen my videos before, you realize I'm a big fan of both of those guys. But I think getting Malcolm Kuntz here with the 210th pick overall is a pretty nice pick by the Baltimore Ravens. And I really feel like this mock draft, if they were able to, get some of these picks, that's fantastic for the Baltimore Ravens. That would really help them in the future. Some of these guys, would have immediate impacts on the team. So I'm going to go to these picks here one more time. With their first round pick, they select LSU wide receiver Terrace Marshall Jr. With their second first round pick, they select offense tackle Tevin Jenkins. They do not have a 2nd round pick, but with their 3rd round pick selection, they take Oregon safety Javon Holland. With their other 3rd round pick, they select Miami, Florida edge rusher Quincy Roche. In the 4th round, this is probably my favorite pick of the mock draft. They select North Texas wide receiver Jalen Darden. Also in the 4th round, they select Florida State defensive tackle Marvin Wilson. In the 5th round, they select corner Benjamin St. Justy. In the 5th round as well, they select LSU safety Jacoby Stevens. I really like that pick as well. Aside from Jalen Darden, that's probably my favorite pick. And with their last pick of the draft, in their 6th round pick, they select Buffalo edge rusher Malcolm Kuntz. I thank you all so much for listening. If you like this video and subscribe to my channel, I would greatly appreciate it. And I will see you next time on the Sports Dude Hines Show.